A soaring 64-meter-tall stainless steel spire greets visitors at the National Museum of the Marine Corps. Lieutenant Colonel Scott Yost, the museum's operations officer, says the symbolic design was inspired by one of the most iconic moments in Marine Corps history, the raising of the American flag on Iwo Jima during the Pacific Campaign in World War II.
Well, the shape of the museum, when you look at it, it's sort of a tilted cone. And what that symbolizes is the silhouette of the six personnel, the 5 Marines and the 1 Navy corpsman, who raised the second flag on Mount Suribachi on Iwo Jima during the Second World War.
The historic photo by the Associated Press journalist Joe Rosenthal and the pair of flags originally raised on the island's Mount Suribachi are among the approximately 1,000 artifacts in the museum's collection.
The mission of the museum is to preserve the material history of the Marine Corps, to educate the American public, and to support the recruiting and retention of Marines.
Marine Corps tanks, planes, and weapons are on display in Leatherneck Gallery, the central area of the museum.
Right, I particularly like the Corsairs. When I was growing up, I used to make models of the Corsairs, and I used to watch the Black Sheep on TV. So I think having some of the originals is quite an excellent thing to do.
Yost says many of the exhibits are designed to allow visitors to experience key events in Marine Corps history.
In the Second World War gallery, you can go into a ship's briefing on the invasion of Iwo Jima, and then that's followed by a simulated boat ride into the landing beaches. While you're doing this landing, you're surrounded by video that was actually taken during the landing on Iwo Jima.
Second Lieutenant Kristen Dalton, a media officer for Marine Corps Base Quantico, explains how in the Korean War gallery, visitors experienced the bitter cold the Marines endured during the tough fight at the Chosin Reservoir in 1950.
The temperature in there drops a little bit to give you a slight idea of what those Marines went through. And that room is not nearly as cold as it actually was. It's termed the name the Frozen Chosin because of the fact that it was so cold, and those Marines fought through that bitter cold in order to accomplish their mission.
The sensory experience continues in the Vietnam Gallery, where Yost says people board a transport helicopter used during the bloody Battle of Hill 881 in 1968.
It was a real helicopter. We cut it in half in order to make the display. So it looks like a helicopter, and we have some equipment in there that makes it shake like a helicopter, it smells like a helicopter, it sounds like a helicopter.
It's very realistic living of the scenes of different wars. Maybe Vietnam was the one that impressed me more, and I believe it's very, very realistic.
The Marines are very proud of their heritage, of their tradition, and what it all stands for. The museum has combined all of that. It shows our traditions and our heritage, starting all the way back in 1775.
Dalton believes by emphasizing the Marines' heritage, the museum captures the spirit of the Latin phrase Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful, the motto of the Marine Corps. For producer Liu Enming, Elaine Lu, VOA News.